This keto bread is moist, delicious, fluffy, and takes only 90 seconds to make in the microwave.
And it has only 3 grams of carbs. You want to know how to make it? Well, stick around because we're going to show you. Hi, welcome to Our Family Bee.
I'm Brandon.
I'm Brigitte. Our mission is to inspire real people to love well, live wisely, and be better together.
Today we're going to show you how to make the absolute best, quick, easy, delicious, fluffy, moist keto bread at home.
And we'll be sharing an extra sweet treat at the end, so make sure you watch all the way through.
This is really exciting for us. See, bread is kind of a pain point for anybody trying to do keto as a lifestyle or even just as a short-term thing to lose weight, because bread has literally for thousands of years been a part of basically every culture around the world. It's easy to make, it's calorie dense, and it's a part of basically every meal we eat. Think of every meal you've had in the last week. A lot of it probably had bread of some sort. Even a salad has croutons on it. We've just been conditioned to have bread, and so when you're trying to do keto, eventually you're gonna be like, oh, I want this thing that has bread. Have you tried eating bunless burgers? Like, they're good, but they're better with bread. So bread is a stumbling block for so many people trying to do keto.
Bread is just so carby that we needed to find a replacement.
Yeah.
I mean, one slice of even whole wheat bread has 12 grams of carbs. So one sandwich has 24 grams of carbs, and that's gonna cause anyone to go out of ketosis. So it's not a good option, but bread is very easy and quick to do, like a sandwich or as a side. So we wanted to find something that we could do that was easy and quick and good.
Good is the hard part.
And so you may think, oh, well, let me just have a wrap instead, because that's not as much bread as, you know, this fluffy loaf that's so yummy. Well, listen, wraps are just bread that's squished really, really flat.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Sometimes they're even worse than a slice of bread.
Mm-hmm.
So don't think that they're even better. You know, sometimes there's low carb options, but like, do they really taste good? No, not really. It's just like a vehicle to get the stuff into your mouth. But we want to not settle. So we want something good and yummy, and we're going to show you how to make it.
Yeah, there are a lot of low carb options out there, but some of them you can't even make a sandwich out of. They fall apart, they're brittle, or they're dense, or they crumble. We needed something that worked. Enter the solution. This keto mug bread is moist and soft and pillowy and flavorful and works really well as a sandwich. It started with this simple mug cake recipe, a keto version of it, that you can slice 4 layers deep, so you can get 4 slices out of it, and you can freeze it. So you can actually make this bulk and freeze it for months at a time. Yeah, really, a keto bread that you can make and store and have a bulk of at your house and use over and over again. And we've done this. The problem is we eat it so fast we never keep it. So we're gonna be working on that. But we're also going to show you how to make it today.
If you've watched our channel before and seen any of the other recipe videos, you know that I like recipes that are non-recipes. So I like them to be versatile. So I like them to be able to be customized so that you can put in your favorite ingredients. Well, this recipe is just that. Yeah. So at the very end, you want to stick around because we're going to show you a variation that is one of our favorites and really just hits the spot when you're trying to get something sweet. I will link some of the recipes that I'm talking about down in the description box, but also up in the cards here. Before you start, you want to make sure you have the correct container to make these in. Now, it doesn't have to be anything fancy and you don't need to go buy anything, but what you will need is some kind of mug or some kind of dish like this. So I have used this because it's mostly square like a slice of bread, and I will make a double batch in here. But if I'm making a single batch and making like sliders where I cut it 4 deep, then I make it in this big mug. But I want you to know that it is flat, like all the way down. It's not tapered, like for instance with this one. This one would not be really good if you're trying to slice it for sandwiches. It would be good if you're trying to make a dessert in here and you're just scooping it out to eat it. Don't get one that's tapered, find one that has a straight line. For this exact recipe, you can go to our website, which is ourfamilybee.com. Everything will be listed there for your easy reference. For a single batch recipe that you're gonna make in the mug, this is what you will need. Melt 1.5 tablespoons of butter in the mug first. I just put it in the microwave for about 30 seconds. Once the butter is good and melted, you want to add the ingredients in this order. Okay, very important. Almond flour, 3 tablespoons. 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. And a pinch of salt. And the secret ingredient is stevia. The plain kind, not the flavored vanilla or hazelnut or whatever other kind, because that would just be weird in this bread. You want just the plain stevia, so I'm going to use this, and I'm going to do about 4 to 5 drops for a single serving. It really just cuts the egginess of the bread, so I would highly recommend using it. I've done it without. Like, if you don't have the liquid stevia, then don't worry about it, but I feel like it just enhances it a little bit. Next, you want to use a fork to mix it all together. You want to make a paste with these ingredients like this before you add anything else. Once you have a paste, which I know you're gonna look at this and be like, really? That's gonna turn into fluffy bread? You've got to be kidding me. But I'm not kidding you. It will. You just watch. The next ingredient is going to be 1 egg. And mix it all around. You want to mix it until it makes a liquidy goop and you don't have any clumps. This is why I like to use a fork, so that I can get the fork tines through any clumps and break them up. Now the last ingredient is cheese. We like cheddar. We've also used mozzarella. You can use any cheese you want, really. It's all about your preference, but keep in mind, depending on if it's a hard cheese or a soft cheese, it may act a little bit different, but listen, do what you want, because whatever's gonna make you stay on keto, that's what you wanna do. So I'd say about a tablespoon or so. Once it's in and ready, let's take it to the microwave.
Hey, real quick, while that's in the microwave, if you haven't yet done so and you like what we're doing, go ahead and click subscribe and then click the bell so you get every notification every time we drop a video.
Also, go follow us on Instagram at OFB Social, because we'd love to engage with you in the comments. The recipe will be on our blog at ourfamilybee.com.
To take it out, bring it over to your cutting board, turn it upside down, give it a good couple taps, wiggles, thumps, whatever it takes. Get it out of there. You can set it on a cooling rack to dry. You can actually get a lot out of this. Now you could go ahead like we would have done in the past. This is what we initially started doing. Grab a knife, slice it just straight in half. And it basically gives you biscuits. Like you would call that a biscuit all day long. It reminds me a little bit of a Cheddar Bay biscuit from Red Lobster. And you can put onions and seasoning in here and it actually tastes really similar. But more, you can go further. You can take this and slice it again in half all the way across and end up with little sandwich rounds. You can make little slider sandwiches that you can pack for work. You can end up from each mug with 4 slices that you can use for sandwiches. You can put ham and cheese in there. You can put whatever you want.
Double batch in this container. This is just a simple Pyrex container. It comes with a lid, but I'm just gonna use this so I can put it in the microwave and then slice it like a regular piece of bread. So for the double recipe, I'm gonna melt 3 tablespoons of butter. This is unsalted butter. I've used Kerrygold butter. First, the almond flour, 6 tablespoons. Baking powder. For this double recipe, a whole teaspoon. Sprinkle of salt. I'm gonna make like a paste. here's your little paste, which doesn't look like a lot, right? But be amazed, there will be 2 eggs. So you'll know you're done when everything is together and not clumpy and kind of a soupy egg mixture. Kind of like this. Stevia, the liquid kind. I do maybe 6 drops for this double batch, maybe 8. You can play around with it. Cheddar. I'd say about 2 tablespoons for this double batch. And mix it together. For the double batch recipe, you want to put it in the microwave for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Going in the microwave, where the magic will happen.
When you take this out, it's gonna be super hot. I do not recommend using your hands like I'm doing right here. I would instead use some gloves. And we're gonna let that sit and rest for just a couple minutes because it is hot. You can go ahead and flip this guy over. Again, watch if you're sensitive that your fingers don't get burnt. And kind of tap, 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 tap it. You want to separate it and let it sit that way. Should come out pretty clean. Once you've got it out, you can go ahead and transfer it to a cooling rack to let the air get to it so it doesn't get too compressed on one side. So once it's cooled off, it's easy to touch. You can grab it and look, it actually looks and acts like bread. It's got a little crumble to it and it's really yummy. So take this, I like to lay it top down because you probably have a little slope if you have a square dish like we do. But very carefully, get in so you can see this. I'm gonna lay my knife right about halfway up it. Make sure I'm pretty much level all the way across. And gently with a bread knife, make sure you're using a bread knife, serrated is good. Get in there and gently, very carefully, go all the way through. Very careful to stay even as I go through as much as possible. It's not gonna be perfect, but do your best. And then you're gonna have slices of bread. You can cut these in half. So you'll end up with actual sandwich slices, just like that. These are almost exactly the same dimensions of thickness as a good slice of bread. You can use these as a sandwich right here. Get this one, cut it in half. Do the same thing. Make yourself some sandwiches. I love these for sandwiches. This works absolutely great for a ham and cheese sandwich, roast beef and cheese, which is kind of my preference. But we actually used these for cheeseburgers the other day, and we had some nice juicy burgers in here with cheese and onions and mayo. That's kind of how I do my burgers. Brigitte had ketchup, whatever, do your thing. And they were like really, really good. So yeah, keto bread. And this right here is about equivalent to one of the mug recipes because it's half of this, which is one normal recipe. So this sandwich that I would eat here, which is be a pretty good sandwich, actually only be 3 grams of carbs. They're actually just under 3 grams of carbs net, including the fiber that comes from the almond flour. A normal sandwich, let's say even a normal half sandwich, would be over 12. This is a huge win, a great way to stay in ketosis and have normal human food.
If you've made it this far, then you are going to get the promised sweet treat. Get your mug, melt your butter. We're gonna do the same basic recipe as before, but stopping after the stevia. So don't add the cheddar. Instead of regular stevia, I'm actually gonna use the vanilla this time. And I'm going to add more than previously. So I'm going to go with about 10 drops. And lastly, I'm going to add a teaspoon of cinnamon. Okay, give it a little shake. Basically just like a cinnamon muffin, and you can make it with blueberries or strawberries. Just chop those little bad boys up and put them in.
What are you chopping up?
blueberries or strawberries or peaches or
What category are they? They're little what?
little bad boys up. Okay, not too much cinnamon. That's good. Ooh, top this with a little pat of butter, melted just a little bit.
Let me help her out. Don't top this with a little pat of butter and just eat it like that. Take this bad boy, is that what you called it? Take this bad boy, butter it, griddle it, put it on a hot pan, medium-high heat until it gets browned. It'll be amazing. You gonna eat all that by yourself?
You gotta have some perks to the job.
So those are our 3 variations on keto bread that we use all the time. But if you've got a different recipe, we'd love to hear about it, or just say hi, engage us in the comments. We'd love to get to know you.
Until we meet again, don't forget,
Life is better together.
Bam!